Welcome back, this is Thomas, and on this episode, we're going to be going over the NECA Tmnt Turtle Van. And folks, I finally got my turtle van. I'm super excited. I saw FedEx rolling up to my door yesterday and I knew exactly what it was. I know a lot of people got their turtle van a few weeks ago and I was wondering whether I was going to get mine before the holidays, so I was super excited to see this on my doorstep. Hopefully everybody got theirs too. And if you've been following this channel for the last couple of months, you've been seeing me build out my Tmnt NECA display, and my biggest project was this Channel 6 news building you see right behind me. And then a couple weeks ago I completed a Weird Pizza, and I made that Weird Pizza specifically so that this turtle van can go right in front of it, recreating the image on the box. So really excited to get this out of the package. We'll take a look at it, discuss what I love about it, discuss maybe what I don't love about it, and then we'll get it into the display. So let's check it out. And just real quick, I just want to take a look at the box art because, like I mentioned before, this was something that when I saw the picture, I knew that I already had my display built out exactly the same way. So pretty excited to see it like this. When I built my Channel 6 News, I left some space on the bench that it's displayed on, specifically so a Weird Pizza can go there, and then the turtle van could go right in front. So really cool to see this. I love that April's driving because I'm probably going to display that older April that everyone had some problems with. I'm probably just going to put her there because that seems like a good place for her. And then we'll have lots of fun display options. So great artwork on the front. You get a product shot on the side. On the back, you do have a nice dio in this photo here. Looks like the van's in motion. And then you can see some display options for your turtle van. And then you get another product shot on the other side. And on the bottom, it looks like all the instructions are there, or at least tells you some. I don't know if there's instructions inside, but just giving kudos to the illustrator of the box. Looks like it's Tim Laddie, so got to thank Tim for creating that design, and it was really exciting to kind of see that. So we're going to get this thing out of the box and we'll check it out. So when you get your turtle van out of the box, it is going to come in these taped up clamshells, so you just have to get those apart, and then on the back are all the accessories. So looks like there's a lot of stuff here, probably some assembly required, so I'm going to get everything out of this plastic case and then we'll take a closer look. So first impressions, I really love this thing. I'm really happy to have it in my collection. There are a few glaring problems with it, but I think overall I don't mind them all too much, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, just aesthetically, I know that they changed the roof and it had a little more of a rounder top. I didn't care when it was rounded. Just from building dioramas from the cartoon, looking for any consistency in the show is next to impossible. So I understand that they were going with an image that might have appeared a few times, but it was nice that they listened to the fans and did change it. Either way, I would have been happy, so not a problem there. Then just looking at the front, again, this looks perfect to me. I know a lot of people were upset that it wasn't as rounded, it's a little too flat, but again, that does not bother me. So I remember the Playmates one, I have it in my closet somewhere. It is pretty much a box with a little bit of roundness, so I don't see this being too much different than that. I know the Underground Arsenal has a little bit of a round kind of shape to it, so I think maybe if you're comparing and contrasting to that, yeah, it's not going to have the same look, but like I said before, there was really no consistent look in the cartoon, so this could have had a few different looks, especially within an episode. It can look one way in one scene and then completely change in another. But great paint on the lights. This antenna here, it just turns. There's no ball joint on it, so I don't think you can kind of bend it back or anything. One of the biggest glaring problems with this are these cannons. So this is as low as they go, so if you wanted to put this on a shelf like I have here, I don't know if they'll necessarily fit. I think if you get the sewer layer, they did show it being able to be the same height, so I guess that won't be a problem, but it would have been nicer to have those go lower. So there's really no, unless the turtles are shooting up at the sky, I really don't see kind of a use for that, but it's fine. I'm always going to have it displayed kind of on the lowest setting. Don't try and push this down too hard. You don't want to break anything. Now, other than the cannons on top, one of the biggest glaring problems that I think that is with this turtle van are the doors. So when you open them, I don't know why or how they decided to put this on one hinge, but we know how fragile NECA figures are, and to put this door on one hinge, it's just asking to be broke. So, I mean, I'm pretty much, because of that, I'm always going to display it closed. You also have to, when you're closing it, you also have to lift it up and then push it in. So maybe it's a design flaw. Maybe they couldn't really fit two hinges. I think they could have fit one here, but that's not even something that I want to risk. So these are pretty much going to stay closed pretty much all the time when I display it. The other thing that, and this is just a nitpick, but because I'm going to have April in this front seat, there's no way to kind of open those windows, so you can't recreate that scene from the opening sequence. So that's just something I wanted to do personally, and I know they never said anything about opening windows, but that's something I would have liked to see, but no big deal. Then if you go to open this door, it's really difficult to open it from the outside, so you're gonna have to open the top and stick your hand in there and just kind of push it through. So not too bad. Not too much detail on here. It looks like those aren't foot pegs, just little notches, but pretty cool. Little entryway for the turtles. Nothing to call home about. And then looking at the back, it's pretty plain, but I don't know how easy it is to open these doors. Yeah, I think these, oh, I can get them open. Again, so these are on one hinge. However, oh yeah, not crazy about that. So they're on one hinge too. These are thicker than the side doors, so can they still break pretty easy? Yeah, so I'd be really careful with that, but at least they're not as fragile as the side doors. So if I wanted to keep these open and have them hanging for an extended period of time, I don't think I'd worry about that like I'd worry about those side doors. But they close pretty easy and you don't have to like maneuver them, so they just pop right back in. And then lastly, while we're talking about the outside, we have to turn those lights on. So switch is down on the bottom in the middle there, and that just looks really cool. So it's gonna be pretty exciting to have the turtles in there and maybe turn off all the lights and see what that looks like. But you get those two headlights and then you get the rear brake lights, so that's pretty exciting. This kind of, if you've ever collected Hess trucks, I know that was pretty cool back in the day because there were so many lights on that, so it kind of reminds me of that. And I didn't open this. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, so when you go to open these side doors, just make sure that you are popping them from the outside, from the inside. And you're gonna hear me complain about the same thing multiple times, but that is on a single hinge as well. So, I mean, I'm gonna put it on just to see what it looks like, but having that door open with the cannon and a figure on top, I think that is going to be a problem for display reasons. So I haven't put this on yet. I heard this is pretty tough to get in. You almost feel like you're gonna break it. Oh yeah, that's really tight. So there's that little groove there. I'm going to kind of rest it there, get that lip in, and then just, okay. So that wasn't too bad. I'm never gonna, I don't think I will mess with that. That's locked in for life now, so that'll stay. But the seat is pretty cool. Got some nice detail with those bombs. Not like the orange ones from the old Playmates one, although I do love those. But pretty cool. Still has the same kind of spirit there. So not too bad. And then these go into those holes. See how easy that is to get on. And then I'm just gonna use my finger below to kind of rest so I don't put pressure on the door hinge. But that went on pretty easy. I know a big flaw with this is that you can't have, like, the gun doesn't fold in or out. So once this is on, again, that's probably not coming off. So yeah, so I wouldn't even mess with that while it's on the door. I'll just take it off. Did not like that noise. So these kind of spin around, so don't worry about those are moving. But I'm gonna put this on. Oh yeah, this is gonna make a lot of noise. That's not gonna probably sit right with you, but okay. Well, for all intents and purposes, that's on. That's the way it is. Do have some movement on the handles, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Not even gonna put this on because I don't want to break that door hinge. But let's take a look at the inside and some of the wall panels now. So we're just gonna open up the top here, and you can see there's a peg there that matches with that hole. This opens up fairly nice, and here's kind of what I wish the doors were on. So you got these two big hinges here. Having the doors on the side, just kind of on that single one, I don't know, it seems like a bad choice for that. But then this top pops off pretty easy. So you can see all the pegs there. Oh, it's a nice little detail of the light, pretty cool. And then just looking at the inside, so I think you have some nice detailing on the floor. On the chair, what do you need there? Really, just a brown couch. The steering wheel spins. You have some switches there, a light. This side feels a little empty, like there could have been more that went there, so I'm not really sure why they spared some details there. But then looking at kind of these panels here, I think these are really cool. So try to get that closer, but you can kind of see one of those computers on the side. Got some equipment there. And then another one. So great details on those panels. Really liking that. And then you can see these pegs on this door where the door cannon went. So you do have the option to kind of put this on there to make it look like it's folded up. Would have been nice to have it retractable and fit on there, but let's see how this goes in. I think it just kind of, I guess that just kind of lays there. So it doesn't clip in or anything, it just kind of falls into place. Now this panel might be my favorite. So you got those two bombs, the ladder that goes up. So that's pretty cool. I haven't really looked at too many things of how to connect it. I see the paneling or the pins right there, so I wonder how easy this is to get in. Let's see. So I guess that just pops in there. Let me see if I can get it in the pegs. And you've got to be careful with your fingers. You don't want to put too much pressure on these when you're trying to push that in, because they probably will break. They're a little loose in there, so I'm not going to mess with them too much. But yeah, I see where the peg holes are, and they just kind of go on the back of the seat. Let's see if I can do this in one shot. Oh, okay. So that wasn't too bad. And then, if you're just looking at it from there, let me open up those back doors so you can see. We'll just take a look back here. So that looks pretty cool. So you can have your turtles kind of going up the ladder if you want. Get a nice kind of open door for photography if you wanted to. So I am liking that detail. You do get the side panel, but I think that goes where this goes, and honestly that one has so much more detail on it, so I think I'll just keep it like that. So but it's nice to have those options. So this will go back in the box, and I'll probably keep this out because I want to make sure I display that there. I might keep the gun just inside in case I ever want to take it out for photography, but for now this will kind of live here on the side. I guess it won't, because it can't fit when that's in there. So never mind. So real quick, before we get this turtle van in its final spot where it will be on display, the things I like about it, aesthetically, this checks all the boxes for me. I think this is exactly what I wanted in a party wagon, and I can't wait to get the figures on and see how it looks. But overall, the look is really what I love. Things I don't like about it, and sorry if I sound like a broken record, but pretty much all the doors are really finicky. So this is just something you're gonna have to be really careful with when you're messing around. But you know, the back doors are fine. The side doors, you have to kind of lift them up a little bit. This, I'm pretty sure, I don't think it goes in any further. So it always just kind of looks like it's not fully closed. Not crazy about that. I don't know if you can see in the back, but on my display I have all these plastic shields, and that's because if these figures break, they're so hard to find. I don't want to have to go out and either buy them again on the secondary market or look for them. So, I've had to go to great lengths to make sure my NECA figures don't break. So with the fragility of NECA products, I really wish a second hinge could have easily gone there. So final thoughts on the Turtle Van. Yes, it's awesome. If you are a NECA completionist, you probably want this. If you didn't get it and you have the Underground Arsenal, then I would just not even worry about purchasing a new one. It seems like you already have a good product there. But aesthetically pleasing, it really checks all the boxes on what I want my Turtle Van to look like. And it just has those few design flaws with the doors. So that's something that it's a little bit of a bummer. I probably won't display this with the doors open ever because I don't want them hanging on that single hinge too long freely. But other than that, it's pretty cool. So definitely a great product. Let's get it into the display underneath the Channel 6 and on the side of the Weird Pizza and get some figures on. All right, folks, here it is. I have my Turtle Van in the display that I've been waiting to get it on. I have my Weird Pizza behind it, and then my Channel 6 News building right over there. So pretty cool to see this. I do have April in there waving like in the opening scene. And if you were wondering what it's like to get all 4 turtles in there to recreate that opening scene, you can kind of do it, but not really. So you have to really work to get all 4 of them in there, but not a problem. I think the Underground Arsenal might have a little more room, so a little bit of a bummer, but still, it is pretty cool to see this. All right, folks, that does it for this episode. Just wanted to show off the complete look of the Channel 6 News building, the Weird Pizza, and the Party Wagon. So if you haven't gotten yours in the mail, hang tight. Hopefully it's coming soon. But until then, we'll catch you next time.